Hello, awesome people. I hope you're having a great day today. Today we're taking a look at Michael Shea's 23-page long short story called Fat Face. It's published in Cthulhu 2000, a collection of stuff that was inspired by H.P. Lovecraft, set in the Cthulhu Mythos that I picked up when I was in college, read it then when I was doing a deep dive into his stuff, and then I went back, and now I've gone back occasionally to reread the occasional story here and there and here and there. This 23-page short story, because it's a longer, oversized collection, which I'll link to you in the comments below too, took me about an hour for me to knock it out, which is probably a little bit on the slower side. For larger pages, I think typically it's like 2 minutes, and two pages a minute rather. So it typically takes me about double the length. So you would expect 23 pages to be 46 minutes, but it probably took me a little bit more, like an hour and so forth. It was a little bit slower of a read and so forth, which might be to your nice thing if you want more time to take out of it and so forth without having to spend any more money. So let's go and take a look, see what I think about it. As a reminder, keep my review spoiler free. So I didn't like this the first time I went and read it. It's one of my least favorite short stories in this collection, and I went back and read it again, and it's still one of my least favorite short stories in this collection, and I'm only going to be giving a 5 out of 10 for this. So what I typically do in my spoiler-free reviews is I typically just give you spoilers for like the first 4 or 5 pages in a 23-page short story like this one, to get your feet wet and so forth. And all the central conceit of this short story is in the first 5 pages. Basically what's happening. So our point of view character is in her mid-20s. She's a prostitute in the West Coast in California. She was born in California in a small town, and now she's moved to the big cities, and so forth. She's just gotten back to work after a hiatus for a little bit. She's working small clients and stuff in like massage parlors and so forth. And then she's going, and then about 4 or 5 pages in, she describes the places and so forth, and there's a guy next door who works as a doctor, who has a couple of clinics. He also has a place to bring your animals for strays and so forth to for free, and she really likes him. That's the title character, Fat Face. He has a fat face, and all the fellow prostitutes that work and staff that work in the hotel where she lives and works always make fun of him and so forth because he looks like he's a chubby guy, but she says he seems nice from all the pictures and so forth. So she's going to go sleep with him, and that's the central conceit of this cosmic horror short story. It doesn't feel like a cosmic horror. That's one of the reasons why I just don't like it that much. The central conceit just doesn't feel like it. It's certainly a mature, a prostitute wants to sleep with a guy who works next door. I mean, it's I don't even like that central conceit, but it doesn't even go anywhere interesting, right? I don't like the ending. I don't like the details. I don't like the length. I think it's way too long. I just don't like what happens. I think there's way too much description, not enough plot in this 23-page short story, and so forth. And it's not a cosmic horror. Sure, it's in the Cthulhu Mythos. There are a couple of call-outs, but it just doesn't feel like a Cthulhu Mythos story in the sort of the bigger sense of the stakes and such. Or there's very little cosmic to this cosmic horror genre. Now, I'm fine if a Cthulhu Mythos short story changes the genre. And I often will give it credit for doing so too. Like, for example, Roger Zelazny's Hugo-winning novella that's set in the Cthulhu Mythos in 24, which is a cyberpunk rather than just a traditional cosmic horror. The 24 Views of Mount Fuji by Hokusai, which I loved a lot. Gave a very high rating to it. It's one of my favorite shorts. It was one of my favorite stories, even though it's a novella, so it definitely takes longer and it works for him. And he's a big name too, so you would expect it to do well. And also won an award. So, but I liked it. I like that going against the grain, but this doesn't change the genre. It's still horror. It's still trying to be cosmic horror. I just don't think that Michael Shea succeeds. So that's why I'm giving this just a 5 out of 10 for you folks. But your mileage may vary. So let me know what you think about it if you've read it. As a reminder, I try to do my Octobers dedicated to the Cthulhu Mythos. This person got started with H.P. Lovecraft in the pulp era, who was my favorite author when I discovered him in college, in my 3rd year of college, and then he was my favorite. And then I did a deep dive into all of his collections, all of his stuff, and so forth. in a few books that were published by Del Rey, and this is also published by Del Rey too, Cthulhu 2000, which again I'll link you to in the comments below for you folks. So I like to do a deep dive into this stuff and all these short stories that were inspired by H.P. Lovecraft and the Cthulhu Mythos. That's a shared horror universe for you folks. So that's why we're doing it. Also, I like doing older works like this. They're a couple of decades old, right, by now, because as a reminder, the name of this channel, this is the worst thing about new books, where it is a quote by a French philosopher, Jacques Joubert, in the 20th century, who said that the worst thing about new books was that they kept us reading the old ones. And so I definitely like to bring back some of these older things that people might have forgotten about and so forth. So there you are. I'll go ahead and leave you to it. Have you read this? If so, what did you think about it? If you enjoyed this, why not hit that subscribe button, because there's going to be a lot more of these to follow. And then finally, I want to thank you so much for taking some time out of your day and investing it and watching my video. We all have so many things that are happening in our lives, and we're pulled in so many different directions. So the fact that you spent this time with me is incredibly humbling, and I appreciate it. So thanks again, and have an amazing day.